O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. you can rely on essential moving experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hello, we are back. We are ready to rock and roll. You guys got me working day and night. I don't seem to stop. It is amazing. We were at Hialeah Park, and we were awaiting the news of what was going to happen with Jalen Ramsey, and we finally got the news of the Jalen Ramsey stuff, and, you know, it didn't end up being as bad as it could have been. I was kind of worried because we weren't getting any calls back. And so this is what Adam Schefter reported. Jalen Ramsey will undergo knee surgery and is expected to miss the start of the regular season with the injury that he suffered during today's practice. Per league sources, Ramsey ACL is intact, which is positive. So this is probably some kind of a scope, some kind of a meniscus tear. And so it all depends on what kind of chunk they take out of there. What can they shave? So we'll see. That's the kind of stuff that we really won't know until they go into the knee. But I kind of get the feeling that this is not something that's going to be a long term. And this is where I think there's kind of like a bright spot. Maybe he misses only a couple of weeks of the remember, okay? We're 6 weeks removed from the regular season right now. Okay, the season starts on the 10th, I believe. This is the 27th, right? So you're 6 weeks out. So he'll get his scope now. He'll get his clean job, and then he'll go through the rehab process. And I think he comes back within that first month, 5 weeks of the season, somewhere there. And then all of a sudden now, the drafting of Cam Smith was genius because Kader Kohou's growing up, as you all know. We all are Kader Kohou fans. So Kader Kohou can start. You've got Cam Smith. Remember, Trill Williams is going to come back now. You've got Keon Crossan. The Bryce Thompson kid was actually showing something in minicamp. So all of a sudden now, you do have depth at corner. You're not at the end of the world here. You have one of the best safeties in the NFL in Javon Holland. So he can play center field with the best of them out there, cater a little bit more over there, and help out whoever's there. If it's Kohou, if it's Cam Smith, I would imagine it's going to be Kohou. He's the guy that's more advanced right now. But that you're not going to see. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is something you can slow walk right now. You got a defensive coordinator named Vic Fangio. You added a linebacker to your core in Long. So you've made some other improvements along the way, and you should be a better pass rushing team this year. You added Ogba, who comes back. So now you've got Fangio. He should be able to make up for all of that stuff. You got Kader Kohou, who can fill in. He played all last year as a baby coming out of the nursery of Division II. Now his hand is completely healthy. You know he's got a year under his belt now. He's got experience. He's confident as all hell. Okay? This is a kid that Kader Kohu is wired like very young players are. Okay? He plays and carries himself with a boatload of confidence. Okay? So I love at least this position that they're in. This isn't like, oh shit, Bud Brown has to step in. Oh my God, it's Jerry Wilson. Oh no, Jamar Fletcher. Oh my God, you've got to put Noah Igbenogany out here. Did I cover it all already? Are we good now? Depending on how old or young you are, did I hit you with the nightmare corner? We don't have that here. Kader Kohu is a terrific young player. I only expect him to be better this year than he was last year. How do you like them apples? And Cam Smith, well, fast track his ass. Now we get him in there. We get him more reps throughout the preseason. So all of a sudden now the preseason becomes enormous for a guy like Cam Smith. Trill Williams, welcome back, young man. You were showing us the goods when you were coming up last year. And then the year before you were flashing when you were number 51 back in those days. So Trill Williams is back. Keon Crossan has had his moments. So you got a great defensive coordinator. You work the pass rush. You've got better linebackers now. Baker now should be on the outside, on the weak side, which should help him. Long up in the middle should make you better overall. I'm not that worried about this because put it this way. If we take Jalen Ramsey out of the picture, okay, let's take him out of the picture. And we say, okay, we're coming back with Kader Kohu. You drafted Cam Smith, but you added David Long. You added Vic Fangio. You're getting Ogbah back healthy. You're getting Trill Williams back. You're getting Nick Needham to help you out on the slot. Don't you feel better about your defense already as it is? Right? So now wait till you get Jalen Ramsey back. So here's the way I would spin it. So you don't have him in week 1 or week 2 or week 3, let's say, or week 4. But you're going to have him for the week 6 on, let's say. You're going to have him for week 10. You're going to have him for week 12. You're going to have him for week 14. You're going to have him for week 17. You're going to have him for the playoffs and hopefully in a Super Bowl. You get what I'm saying? So if he's going to miss, okay, misses the first couple of weeks. It's not the whole season. We can live with that. You can get by with that. You got to the playoffs last year with a completely injury-riddled team and no quarterback. I expect the offense to be better, and I expect the defense, even without Ramsey, to be better. I expect Jalen Phillips to have a much better year where instead of getting really close to the quarterback, he's actually going to sack his ass a whole bunch of times. So I expect Chubb to play better with Vic Fangio here. So there's things here that I'm looking at, and if you take yourself out of the panic mode at the moment and do the math that I just told you and just say, hey, man, last year's team is coming back. Now you're adding Ogbah. Now you're adding David Long to it. Now you're adding Cam Smith to it. Now you're adding Vic Fangio to it. Oh, and X is healthy. You're feeling better now? Yeah. So once you get Jalen Ramsey back, sky's the limit. So if you're going to look at it that way. You're still going to be a better defense than you were last year. You got Vic Fangio. You're healthier. You're better right now. Hopefully nobody else goes down. But at least when we're looking at it in a big picture, hey, all right, Jalen's not here for the first week or 2 or month. But then when he does get back, Kohu will be better. Cam Smith will be better. I don't know. Will Bryce Thompson be? Is Bryce Thompson Nick Needham? Is he Kohu? Is he Trill Williams? You know what I'm saying? Is he that defensive back now that's going to shock us? That's what I want to know. Because there always seems to be a guy that shocks us in the secondary. Bryce Thompson was that guy in the mini camps. They always find somebody. So hopefully you guys will look at this the right way and not panic and go crazy. Oh my God, the season's over and all that. No, it's not. Dolphins will be fine. They can overcome this early on. They've got the tools. They've got the coach. We got one of the 3, 4, 5 best defensive coordinators in the NFL. That's your job, dude. Okay, make the other guys better, overcome that, and then when you get the beast back, then you're going to be able to unleash. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Ernest Ulavarro, thank you for the love, sending a little Bitcoin. Remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation or make a donation on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Ernest, thank you for sending it in on Bitcoin, on Cash App, by the way, sending a little Bitcoin on Cash App. Thank you. Appreciate you immensely. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. True Fin Fan says, I'm pissed right now. Cojones, Ming. Sorry. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You can overcome this. You got a lot of depth here. A lot of depth, and I love Kohu. I mean, if you watch this show, you know I've been a Kohu fan from the get-go, from training camp, that we've been pointing him out, and he, so I think we're all right there for now. Big O, they just said Ramsey is out until December. Who said that? Who said he's out till December? Who said that now? Is that new? Is that what they're saying? I didn't see that on the initial Schefter report here when I was... You guys, sometimes, you get some news from Facebook and shit like that, and so I can't trust you guys sometimes. I got to see it for myself. Show me, and then I'll believe it. Michelle says Jordi Alba's finalizing the visa paperwork to join Inter Miami in the next few days. That's good. More info. Dolphin star Jalen Ramsey, sources say, while no firm determination will be made until surgery, the likely outcome is a full meniscus repair. Bringing Ramsey back in December. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if it's full meniscus, yeah. Jesus. See, now we're getting more. Well, get him in December. So you go with Kohu a little longer. It's all right. If you get him for December, January, and the Super Bowl, I'm good. At least we keep him in the second half. You got him. You get better at that point. You can get by with Kohu. I'm sorry. I'm not the person that's jumping off the building now because Kader Kohu's a good player, man. I'm sorry. I'm not going to panic here. I'm not going to go crazy about this. Shit happens. You got bad luck. It happens. He'll get back, full meniscus. Wow, that sucks. See, I was hoping it was just a little scope, get him back in a couple of weeks. Not a big deal. Full meniscus tear, that's not good. That's a full rehab. That's everything. That sucks. But what are you going to do? Shit happens. You got to be ready. You got to try to overcome. With Kohu Smith, Trill Williams, Bryce Thompson, Keon Crossan, you should be able to get by, Man of 1,005 votes, thank you for the love on the super chat. Better to get injured early than injured late. Yeah. And there's 6 weeks now that you bought yourself here with all of this. And this is huge that it happened now. And, we just started training camp. We haven't even started the preseason. So that's like, if there's a couple of bright spots, is that these 6 weeks buy you time. And then the other thing that buys you is that you drafted Cam Smith, which was huge, and you have already Kader Kohu, who you groomed last year because you were forced to groom him. By the way, all the injuries last year forced you to develop Kader Kohu, and look how it's paid off now. That's pretty cool, too. Think about that. That if you didn't have all that disaster, not that we really want that disaster, we don't want any bad luck here, but, you know, at least the bad part of it turned out that you developed Kader Kohu, and now look what happens with Jalen Ramsey. At least you have Kohu that you can count on to step in. So I feel good about that, you know. So let's see, what else do we have? Bottom line, GM Greer failed to upgrade the secondary. What kind of stupid shit is that? Jalen Ramsey. And he drafted Cam Smith. He's prepared. And they have Kohu. They've got depth. I think I'm going to get to a point where I just like kick out just plain stupidity. You know, this is the best roster since the early 90s. Zachary, you may not know shit about football or the Dolphins or anything like that. How can anybody pick on Chris Greer if this is your best roster in 30 years? Oh, and by the way, this roster is better than the team of the early 90s. The only thing guaranteed that is better is Marino. That's it. The rest of the team, I'll take this team over the team from the early 90s. I believe this team will prove to be better than the teams from the early 90s. We're going to go into the 80s because that's when you actually had a defense. Okay? So I'm not sure how people keep talking about Chris Greer when this is the best roster that they've ever built since like Don Shula. I'm not sure where the hatred for Chris Greer comes from. Either you're fucking stupid, ignorant, and you just repeat what another dumbass says, but how can anybody pick on a guy that's giving you the best roster you've had in decades? Decades. I just want you to know how fucking stupid you sound, Zachary. Just want to know. I want you to know what a fucking moron you are, Zachary. Just want you to know that. I mean, it really is like how moronic anybody that picks on Chris Greer at this point. So wait a minute. He builds better teams than Jimmy Johnson, and you clowns praise Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy only built the defense here. He destroyed the offense. He was so ignorant offensively. He was remedial on offense. Jimmy's so fucking stupid that he kept leaving Vinny Testaverde to pass the ball instead of handing it off to Highsmith to win the Fiesta Bowl. So this guy builds better teams than any GM you've had here since Don Shula. And you morons are still complaining. Like Zachary. No, you Zachary, not a timeout, bro. You need to check out. Okay? You need to check the fuck out. Big O, you made great points overall about depth. You're 100% right. We have the best depth in the secondary. We're fine, bro. We're fine. I hate losing Ramsey. I hate watching this. But they can survive without him for now. Okay? That's not a reason for Vic Fangio not to do his job. Vic Fangio does not get a break because he lost one of his all-world corners. No, bro. Lots of people lose corners. You're a great defensive coordinator. You got more than enough players. Go develop Cam Smith. Go use Kader Kohu. You got one of the best safeties in the world playing back there in Javon Holland, drafted by Chris Greer-Zachary. Drafted by Chris Greer-Zachary. You're fine. You're fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay? It's just not. Losing Jalen Ramsey, believe it or not, it's not the end of the world. You can win as many games without him than with him. Okay? Seriously. This team is good enough to have the same record without him. Seriously. Now, they can't go losing more people, but if you're the way you are right now, you're fine. You can make plenty of plays with Kader Kohu back there, no problem. You can leave X on an island. You can have Holland cheat over a little bit, and that's it. So I'm sorry, I'm just not panicking that, oh my God, it's over, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. So, my friend who is a Jets fan was trying to rub it in. I laughed, though. I said the same thing. It sucks losing him, but we have depth. Not worried. Yeah. I mean, if we didn't have Kohu, I'd be concerned. Because there isn't a corner that I can say, I'm not worried with that guy out there. No, I would be worried with everybody else out there at that point. Even Cam Smith, who's a rookie because he's a baby. He hasn't done anything yet. I don't know if the guy can play yet. We haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? I like what I saw in minicamp, but that doesn't mean anything. Physically, I like what I see from the kid, but I haven't seen him play. I don't know what he has here. You know what I mean? I know Noah Igbenogany doesn't have that here. It's not that he's not smart. It's just his instincts suck, and they don't develop. And it doesn't come second nature to him. And at one point or another, you have to. I'll give you an example. Before he got injured again, there were a couple plays that if you watch Jazz in the center field, you're like, hey, man, he looked really comfortable kind of doing it because his stint in the minor leagues kind of helped him out a little bit. And he's getting better at that position. So he's developing the instincts of a center fielder. So he's reading and reacting on the pop of the bat and realizing what the depth perception is going to be of the baseball. You understand? There's an adjustment for any player in sports when they switch positions. But once they switch positions, you have to then start developing the instincts of that position. Another example. Did Ryan Tannehill ever develop the instincts needed in the pocket? Thank you very much. And that's why he was a wide receiver. And that's why at heart, he's probably always going to be a wide receiver, an athlete playing quarterback, because there were things that he instinctively never developed as a quarterback. And one of them is pocket presence. His pocket presence and his vision it's just something that never developed as a quarterback. And that happens. So there's an adjustment to it all. You've got to make that adjustment and show us when you make that adjustment. Noah never did. So, unfortunately, that happens. Let's see. What else do we have? Chad Hicks, thank you. Appreciate the kind words. I remember back when Jimmy took all of Marino's weapons, worst offensive decision. Yeah. Only dumber decision was, I'll let Vinny Testaverde continue to throw interceptions while Alonzo Highsmith is getting 6 yards a carry against Penn State. That's the only thing that was dumber than what he did with the Dolphins. Steven says, I agree. On the contrary, Ramsey will be back when the Dolphins are hot and on the way to the playoffs. They'll be fine. Exactly. If I can get him for December, January, and February, then I've got him for the most important stretch of the season. Do I believe that Kader Kohu can bridge it from here to then? Hells to the yeah. I feel good about Kohu. Poupart has said Cam has the instincts. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, the good thing about Cam is he didn't switch to corner. He's a corner. So he has to have the instincts. So I'm not worried about that. With Noah, he had to develop the instincts because he was coming from receiver. So instincts is not a question for Cam. That's not what I'm worried about. I now have to see if he can play at this level because it's another level now. You're playing against different receivers now. You're playing against different quarterbacks now. It's a whole different ballgame. The measurement for Cam Smith is different than Noah Igbenogany. Noah was making a position switch. And so he had to then develop into that position. Cam is a pure corner. That's different. We have to just find out if he can play at this level. Yeah, Josh. Oh, next man up mentality is unfortunate what happens to Ramsey. I wish him speedy recovery. Exactly. Ramsey Smamsey, ride or die, who we have. Amen to that. December sounds realistic. Eli Apple is out there. They don't need to go get Eli Apple, bro. Cater will never relinquish his corner again. It's no doubt. It's a really crazy statement to say what you just said. But to a certain extent, it could be true. I'll give you an example of why No Doubt says something crazy like he'll keep his job and he'll never relinquish it again, even when Jalen comes back. And here's the way it could happen. Jalen comes back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. Kader Kohou is killing it. He's got 4 or 5 interceptions, let's say. It's late November, and the kid has been on top of it, okay? So you don't want to take him out of the lineup. Guess what you do? You move him inside. Your slot corner plays 65, 70, 75% of the time anyway. So since he's playing 3/4 of the time, Jalen will go to the outside, Cater will go inside, and he won't relinquish in that way. Or there'll be moments where there'll be something inside that's maybe a little bit of a mismatch, a bigger receiver. Ramsey will move inside. They'll move Cater outside. Something like that. I can see, in a way, no doubt what you're saying. I can see something like that happening because once he's playing well, then you don't want to put him on the bench because he's a playmaker. And remember, against Andrews last year in Baltimore, when he goes up in the air, sky high with Andrews in the middle of the field, Kohou, that shit was badass. So no doubt, it's not so much that he'll lock the corner down and they'll say, well, Ramsey, we're paying you all this money, but no, we can't play you anymore. No, it won't be like that. But Nick Needham is the one that will not see the light of day. He'll get dime action is what he'll do. So that's what could happen. You know what I mean? With Kohou. So be very interesting. But I feel really good about Cater being the guy. And I think every Dolphin fan out there should feel the same way. It's a sad day that we watch Jalen Ramsey go down, and we all pray for him to have a speedy recovery and get back onto the roster. But unlike our jerkball viewer there, what was that guy's name? I ripped him so much. I even forgot his name already. It's a good thing about it. I end up forgetting about you guys right away. But anyway, Matthew was his name or some shit, was it? Anyway, Chris Greer loaded up the team at corner, and they're prepared for this moment. So it sucks to lose Ramsey, but wow, you've got Cater Kohou waiting in the wings. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. True Fin Fan says, how does Greer picking a CB look like now? Smart, very smart. Very smart. But, bro, they bombarded me. You guys bombarded me. Bombarded me when he got picked, Cam Smith. DMs, emails, tweets, all that shit. Oh, should have taken an offensive lineman, should have taken a running back, should have taken a linebacker, should have taken a tight end, all that kind of stuff. I got a lot of that. We didn't need another corner. Well, guess what? Sadly, we needed another corner. Sucks. Really sucks. Sucks to lose Jalen Ramsey. But if we're going to lose him, at least Cater Kohu's ready to go. Ronald Darby, I just don't think they're going to sign a corner. I just don't think they're going to rush out to get another corner. I really don't. But I might be wrong. Maybe they do. I got game since he did play in Fangio's defense. Maybe Fangio wants to bring a guy in that's comfortable in his system. So you might be onto something. Maybe. I like the depth, but we'll see. Isaiah says, I'm not worried about Ramsey missing time. Acquiring Ramsey was a luxury. Cater showed a ton of potential last year. Amen. Super V says, Darth Cater tells opposing whiteout players, I'm your father. What is your opinion on the O-line? Well, let's watch them play. My opinion is 3 of the 5 guys are rock solid. It's all about the left guard and the right tackle. But I haven't seen any preseason games. Now, on Sunday, by the way, if you're going Sunday, please say hi. I'll be out there at camp. I need to see him start hitting and stuff like that in the preseason so I can start measuring offensive linemen. So they don't have any pads on right now. So right now you're not really getting what on the interior D or O line, you're not really getting anything at this moment. Starting on Sunday, when you all get to, start watching practice, that's when we'll all get a pretty good feel of where the hell they're at. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if Greer backs off Dalvin Cook to keep options open for a free agent CB. Well, that's why they're not overcommitting to a running back, because they're fine at running back. And that's kind of why we told you from the get-go they weren't going to go crazy for a running back. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so just wanted to get on the horn and break down the Jalen Ramsey stuff and walk some of you folks off the ledge. Dolphins will be all right. They've got the depth. They've got exactly what they need in order to get by without Ramsey, and eventually you'll get Ramsey back, and when you do, everything will be kosher. We'll see you all tomorrow morning, live from Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, 10 a.m., same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.